Welcome back to the Daily Show. I'm here with a young lady from Iowa, all the way from Iowa, who's been doing some exciting work dealing with micro-credentials, Sue Beers. And Sue, I'll mess up pronouncing or describing what your title is
Okay.
and your organization, but please
Okay.
describe that.
I'm the director of a group of about 80 school districts in Iowa working together on school improvement projects and improving teaching and learning. And we've been together since 1998.
Uh-huh.
So our current real emphasis right now, we have several things in the fire, but our biggest push right now is on micro-credentials. So we have been working very quickly on developing a system of micro-credentialing for our districts, and then now we have started to work with other entities across the nation and even a little bit in the Middle East to kind of work together to work on micro-credentials.
So this you're passionate about this. It's very important to you. So what are the value of micro credentials?
The biggest value was twofold, I think. For teachers, the biggest value is we do have a pathway for licensure renewal credit by doing a stack of micro-credentials. And some teachers value that because they can hone in on the skills they really want to learn rather than going to something just for the sake of going to it and getting the time and putting in the stuff they need to get the credit. But also, I think even deeper than that, is we've had teams of teachers start to embrace the concept of walking through a micro-credential and doing the task separately, but then coming together and coaching each other and having deep conversations and reflections about the process. And that's been where the real value is, more so than as a badging system or some kind of external validation. But on the other side, there's the principals and the instructional leaders and the administrators. And what they're finding for micro-credentials is, especially when they are, number one, have a teacher in need of improvement, and so they want to have something to help that teacher improve, but they don't have the time to chase down resources and figure out what they should do to prove it and all of that. And the micro-credential also provides them with the kind of reflective questions and criteria that they can use to have real deep discussions with teachers around something that they want to improve. So we're seeing micro-credentials as kind of that full range of everything from a self-learning tool to a group learning tool, you know, up to and through certification and other areas.
So how many years have you been doing this again?
We're only in our second year of micro-credentialing. We have 52 micro-credentials that we have built and 14 stacks that can lead to licensure renewal credit. So we just jumped in full guns and said, our districts need this, our districts want this, so we're going to go after it. And we have a really small staff. There are 5 of us that all work part-time, so we've really been able to get a lot accomplished in a short amount of time.
No, that is remarkable. So you're doing the interstate work, but then now you have the intrastate. So
Right.
how valuable is this event? And I know you've built connections in the other summits with people from other states.
Extremely valuable to have that connection. We're all in this together. I think we need to not make it more difficult to do a micro-credential. Sometimes we can get bogged down in all of the details of it when we just need to jump in and start doing. You know, that's basically what our school said is when we introduced micro-credentialing to our board and to some of our schools, they were really enthralled with the idea, but they said we need them now. And so we had to jump in and just start developing and then kind of building it as we went. We go back and revise as necessary as we see things that come up that maybe we weren't as clear on or we want to change. But we just didn't want to wait until we had all our ducks in a row before we unleashed it. We just said we're building this, we're riding in the plane as it's being built. So it's kind of fun.
For people that don't understand what micro-credentials are, to put it in layman's terms.
Yeah, I think that it's the bridging of the knowing doing gap. It's the doing part. So sometimes with a micro-credential, if we have offered a workshop, on-site workshop or something, people can attend that, but then if they want licensure renewal credit, they have to complete a micro-credential that shows that they have applied those skills. In past professional development, it's been, you know, I know stuff, but it's not translating into classroom practice. And so the micro-credentials are a way of really starting to hold people accountable for, but also give them really serious practice and support as they try to implement new skills. So, a micro-credential is different than any other type of professional development we have, because as the learner, the teacher, the administrator has that ability to personalize the learning, go as deeply as they need to get the knowledge and skills to be able to complete the task, versus it being a step-by-step, do this and then do that and do this, what we see in online courses and other things.
Okay. Iowa has a very strong education tradition, and I guess people, ACT is based there. So what is the state of K-12 public education in Iowa right now?
We are a state, and I'll be very frank, we're a state that kind of is sometimes living on its past accomplishments, and don't always recognize the changing needs of kids and families and learners. I think we're getting better at that, but it's kind of like, the saying, the enemy of better is best. For a long time we struggled with, well, if we're top of the chart in ACTs or whatever, why do we need to change what we're doing? But the problem was we weren't seeing that we weren't getting to all kids. And now we're starting to recognize that. So I think it's we're in a bit of a changing process. All states have some political issues and so on. But I think Iowa, because we've slipped in our standing, and most of that is because we now have new clients, new types of students we have not had in the past, and now we know we need to change. But we're kind of behind the ball, or behind the curve sometimes, on what other states have done with that. So, so I think the micro-credential will allow us to help teachers with handling how to teach with a new set of students, a 21st century set of students as well.
Yeah, great. Well, Sue, appreciate all
Thank
the great
you.
work. Thank you for being on our
You
program,
bet.
for being here at the summit.
Thank you very much.
Bye.